Hey, all. For this week, I was looking over the discussion and I was trying to figure out what elements I would have. And what I thought of was I had a family member who um, was a substance abuser, and they're officially clean. And it was a hard experience for our family, but it was interesting because we actually kind of got to see the process of him um, going through a program, a drug abuse program and stuff like that. And so, looking back at that and actually talking to them, the things I would probably the elements I'd probably add in my program was first, just a medical aspect, so doctors, nurses, CNNs, just a medical staff, just because looking back and seeing someone who in this case it was he abused heroin, like seeing someone who did that and then seeing them try and come off of it. I just remember, him sitting there like in a bed, curled up in a ball, like drenched in sweat, like shaking, like couldn't shaking uncontrollably, just curled up, drenched in sweat, like couldn't talk, couldn't think straight, didn't want to move. I didn't want to get up, go to the bathroom, and so I feel like for that aspect, you definitely need medical professionals there to help facilitate and deal with that natural body reaction when it doesn't get the drug it's been used to. I feel like you would need medical professionals there to help calm that or ease that pain. Another thing that I thought was cool, I also think you would need medical professionals there, is they actually taught um, at a certain point. They'd actually there was a class with a doctor, and he would actually go over why. It sounds kind of dumb because these are grown adults, but he went over why it was bad, like why they got hooked and why it was bad and what happens, long term and short term. And it was cool to see because for some of them, so I dropped him off at a lot of the classes after he graduated, or not graduated, after he left the program. You still had to go back and do outpatient stuff. And it was cool to see. I got to sit in one of the classes with this doctor, and it was interesting to see, like, it was interesting for a lot of these people it clicked, which is, weird because and I didn't do drugs, so in my head I'm sitting there, well, duh, like if you do drugs, this is gonna happen. But to sit around and see a lot of these people, it was interesting to see how like them hearing it from a doctor after they've been through it, they're seeing like, okay, this is real, like yeah, this happens, and yeah, this does happens. So I feel like for two of those aspects, you would need medical professionals there. Another thing I liked was they had and I guess this counts for me. It counts an accountability aspect of it. And by that I mean, so for the inpatients, the people who were staying in the program or still working through it, they had certain, I'm trying to think, they had certain like classes they had to attend and tasks they had to do. And those people were accountable to the program, where it's like if you miss a certain amount of classes or a certain amount of or a certain amount of your task you have to do for the week, they bring you in and they say like, hey, like yes, this is a program. Yes, we're trying to help you, but you have to do your part. They'd sit you down, and eventually, if you didn't keep doing your task or didn't keep doing it, you'd be eventually kicked out of the program or let go of the program. Which, at first in my head, I was thinking, wow, that's crazy. Why would you kick a drug addict out of a program that's getting them help? But then it came down to this: well, they have to want it too. It's not just about us helping them, but they actually have to want it as well. And so I think an accountability aspect, and then for the outpatients, once he graduated, he had like a counselor he would go to, and it was a little more relaxed, but he had a counselor he would go to and report to and do these things. And so I think an accountability aspect or some sort of hierarchy of, hey, like this is the person you report to make sure you're doing good, to keep you on task, would also be good. And then another one was just therapy, um, the therapeutic aspect of a program. And I feel like that helps in a lot of ways, just to because I feel like, at least from my family member who was in the program, after he was clean, he was looking back, he kind of got depressed at all the stuff he had done and the people he had hurt just because he had this addiction. And so I feel like the therapy aspect is good for these people, to let them know, hey, like you messed up, but these mistakes aren't you, and you can still move on and heal those relationships with these people, even now. So seeing the whole Bronfenbrenner circle and things like that, it kind of put into perspective what these people were doing at this treatment center that my brother went into, and it was cool to see how, they went over the aspects of it. So yeah.